This video provides easy-to-follow instructions for you to create this hub using Onshape. Click below in the video description. Here you will find links to all of the resources you need to complete this project. First, there is a link for a PDF instruction sheet. Click this link and open the project drawings and specifications in a new browser tab. Next, if you don't have an Onshape account, use one of these links to create a free account at the Onshape website. Last, there are links for each of the segments of this video. The video instruction is organized into 5 segments. In Segment 1, you will read the engineering drawings. Segment 2 will establish the design intent. In Segment 3, you will create the part model using Onshape. Next, you will check the accuracy of your model by checking its mass properties. Last, you will check the design intent by making changes to the model to see if it will update correctly. Now you are ready to begin the project. In this segment, we'll read the engineering drawing for this hub. Let's start by identifying the views provided in the drawings. First, there is an isometric view showing the hub as a 3-dimensional pictorial. Next, 2 orthographic views. On the left, a front view. Projected to the right, a right side section view with the hatch lines indicating the material that was cut to expose the interior details. When creating the parametric model, we need to identify the basic shapes and included features. The front view shows the part as circular, with concentric features. Around the outside of the center hub is a mounting flange. This flange contains 3 concentric semicircular mounting slots. Extending from the front of the flange is a circular hub with a concentric through hole. The outside of the hub is chamfered, with the angle sloping back to the flange. Next, we'll look at the dimensions and notes. First, the dimensions are in millimeters. The outside diameter is 160 millimeters. The total depth of the hub is 60 millimeters. The center hole has a diameter of 45 millimeters. The outside diameter of the hub is 65 millimeters, resulting in a wall thickness at the end of 10 millimeters. The chamfer starts 45 millimeters from the back of the flange, or 15 millimeters from the front of the hub. The chamfer ends concentric to the hub with a diameter of 100 millimeters. This is 30 millimeters from the outside edge of the flange. The center of the mounting slots are located on a concentric center line circle with a diameter of 128 millimeters. This is 16 millimeters from the outside edge. The 3 slots are evenly spaced, with an angle of 60 degrees between the centers of the arcs at each end. The arcs at the ends of the slot have a radius of 5 millimeters, making the slot 10 millimeters wide. The mass is set to grams. The material is set to ABS plastic. Next, let's establish our design intent. To start, we need to identify any features that might be changed or revised during the design process. The length of the hub may need to be increased, resulting in a change to the overall depth of the part. Also, the inside diameter of the hole may need to be adjusted slightly larger or smaller. Next, we need to identify the features that should remain unchanged. First, the size and features of the mounting flange will remain unchanged, including the outside diameter, the size and location of the mounting slots, and the ending diameter of the chamfer where it meets the flange. Next, when the inside diameter of the hole changes, the wall thickness of the hub should remain unchanged, as well as the start point of the hub chamfer measured from the end of the hub. The choice of constraints and the order they are applied will determine if the model will behave predictively when changed. So the design intent is to be able to change the length of the hub and the inside diameter, and have the other features update without errors. Before we model the part in Onshape, let's preview the steps in the modeling process. First, from the drawing, we will identify the profile we will use for the base sketch. In this project, we can use a profile of this quarter section of the part. The origin will be placed at the center of the part with a construction line that will be used as the center of the revolve. To orient the hub to the front, we will place the profile on the right sketch plane and revolve Sketch 1 to create the base feature. Sketch 2 will define the size and location of the mounting slot. Extrude 2 will remove material to create 1 instance of the mounting slot. Circular Pattern 1 will evenly distribute 3 instances of the slots on the flange, resulting in the finished part. So let's get started in creating this hub. I have started a new Onshape document and named it Hub. The workspace units are set to millimeters and the mass is set to grams. We already identified in the design intent two-dimensional constraints that may need to change during the design process. First, the overall depth of the part, and the inside diameter of the center hole. We will start by creating variables in the Part Studio for these parameters. By setting variables for these values, it is easier to quickly identify and change their specific value. We will use a variable table to create them. Click on the Variable Table tab on the right tab bar. In naming the variables, we will use all capitals to help them stand out on the feature list. The first variable will be called depth. For the variable type, it will be length. For the value, enter 60. The second variable will be ID. This stands for inside diameter. Again, it is a length. Set the value to 45. Notice that the variables have been added to the feature list. They are labeled with an X, and a hashtag has been added to the beginning of the name to identify them as variables. By adding them to the top of the feature list, their values will be applied when used in the features below them in the list. Click to close the variable table, and let's start Sketch 1. Start a new sketch and click on the right sketch plane. Use N on the keyboard to view normal and P to turn off the planes. First, we will create a center line to define the center of the revolved profile. Click on Line and then Construction. Click Coincident to the origin to start and pull the line horizontal to the left and end. We are creating a profile of the upper section of the circular part. So we will start with a corner rectangle that defines the back mounting flange. Choose Corner Rectangle from the toolbar, move the mouse up vertical from the origin. Click and create the rectangle to the left. For the hub, click on the lower right corner of the rectangle. Create this rectangle below and to the left. Click on the Dimension tool and set the thickness of the flange to 10 mm. From the constraints, click on Equal and click on the top of the flange, and then the end of the hub rectangle to make them equal. Next, we will set the inside diameter of the hole. Choose Dimension, click on the bottom edge of the hub rectangle, and then on the center line. Move the mouse below the center line and click to enter the value as a diameter. We can now use our variable by entering hashtag from the keyboard and choosing ID from the list. You can see this sets the diameter to 45 mm. Now we can set the depth of the part by clicking on the front and back edge and again using the hashtag from the keyboard. Choose Depth from the list, and it sets the value to 60. Next, dimension the outside diameter of the flange to 160 using the center line. To add the chamfer, choose Line and click Coincident to the top line of the hub and the front line of the flange, below the center. The location of the start and end of the chamfer should stay the same when the variables change, so we will dimension their start and end points to the outside edges of the part. The distance from the front is 15 mm. The distance to the top is 30 mm. With this, the sketch is complete. Use the green check to accept. We can now revolve this profile to create the base feature of the hub. Click on Revolve from the Feature toolbar. This will be a new part. For the face, click on Sketch 1 from the feature list. For the revolve axis, choose the center line from the sketch. This looks correct, so choose the green check to accept. Next, we will use Sketch 2 to define one instance of the slot on the flange. Start a new sketch. Click on the front face of the flange to use it for the sketch plane. Click on Center Point Circle and Construction on the toolbar. Click on the origin for the center and then on the flange. Enter 128 for the diameter. For the start and end center points, we will use construction lines. Click on Line and Construction. Click on the origin and then move vertical until you see the vertical and coincident icons, then click. Create two more construction lines on either side of this vertical. Make sure they are both coincident to the origin and the construction circle. Now use the Dimension tool to constrain the angle between the vertical and left line to 30 degrees. Then constrain the angle between the left and right lines to 60 degrees. Use the trim tool to remove the part of the circle outside of the lines. We can now use the slot tool from the sketch toolbar. Click on the construction line that defines the slot center. Double-click on the diameter and enter 10 millimeters. Click the left mouse button to end the slot tool. This looks correct. Use the green check to accept. Next, we will remove material to create one instance of the slot. From the Feature toolbar, click on Extrude. Click on Remove. For the sketch region, click on the slot in Sketch 2. Set the end type to Through All. This looks correct. Use the green check to accept. Last, we can use a feature pattern to duplicate this slot around the flange. From the Feature toolbar, click on the circular pattern. From the drop-down menu, choose Feature Pattern. For the feature to pattern, choose Extrude 1 in the feature list. For the axis of the pattern, choose the center hole of the hub. For the instance count, enter 3, which includes the existing slot. This looks correct. Use the green check to accept. The part is complete. In this segment, we'll check the accuracy of the model by checking its mass properties. To check the model, the mass units should be set to grams and the material set to ABS. If the size and shape of your model was completed accurately, the mass should be 339.639 grams. Let's look at this process step by step. First, open the document that contains the model of the hub. Next, check the workspace units and make sure that mass was set to grams. Next, set the material to ABS. Go to the part in the parts list. Right-click and choose Assign Material. In this case, we're searching for ABS. Click to select it. Next, go down to the lower right corner and click on the Display Mass Properties button. When the dialog box opens, click on the part, and the display shows a mass of 339.639 grams. If this was your result, then your part is accurate and matches the specifications. If not, we can troubleshoot to locate the sketch or feature that has an error. First, locate the rollback bar in the feature list. Move the rollback bar up to just below Revolve 1. The mass now reads 363.27 grams. If you have an error here, examine Sketch 1. Now move the rollback bar down to below Extrude 1. This removes material for the first slot. The mass is now 355.393 grams. If you have an error here, examine Sketch 2. Move the bar to the end. Again, the mass should be 339.639 grams. In this segment, we will make some revisions to the design and check if our design intent has been applied correctly. We will start by reading the revision drawings to identify the features that will be changed. First, the depth has changed to 80 millimeters. The inside diameter of the center hole has been increased to 55 millimeters. The other features, including the outside diameter of the flange and the mounting slots, should remain unchanged. The relative starting and ending points of the chamfer should also remain unchanged. If the part updates correctly, the revised mass should now be 407.942 grams. Now we will make the revisions to the hub. We can create a revised part in its own Part Studio by duplicating our original part. Right-click on the Hub Part Studio tab and from the pop-up menu choose Duplicate. Right-click on the tab of the copy and choose Rename. Call it Revision 1. Click on the tab for Revision 1 and open it for editing. Our design intent anticipated that the depth and inside diameter of the hub might change, so we created variables to quickly find and edit their values. Click to open the variable table on the right. Change the value for the depth variable to 80 millimeters. The model should update automatically. Next, update the inside diameter to 55 millimeters. Again, the model should update. Check the model and feature list for errors. Last, check the mass properties. The revised mass should be 407.942 grams. If this is your result, your model has met the design intent and updated correctly. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, look for more projects at cadvideotutor.com. Also, hit the like or subscribe button. If you have a question, leave a comment.